Gavin Newsom. He's got a new version of himself out. It's been a new release in theaters now. Gavin Newsom Press Office is his account. I guess is the official account for the press office of Newsom, but really it's just turned into like a kind of a new trolling thing. And I think our picture that we used for today's show was Gavin Newsom 2.0. I was trying to put it together. I think we're on Gavin Newsom 10.0. And if you have any additional Gavin Newsoms you've seen, let me know. But like he kind of just changes with whatever the situation is in front of him. Like just going through as far as I could remember, we started out with Democrat rising star Gavin Newsom. Then we went to Playboy Gavin Newsom, who was the guy who actually slept with his best friend's wife. So that's a good character trait. Then we had the I'm against Donald Trump. I'm the tough guy, the anti-Trump guy. That happened. That was, I think, version 3. Then there was the DEI master Gavin Newsom, which I think was version 3 or 4. I'm getting confused on the time. That was the one. Gavin Newsom was doing all sorts of DEI stuff all around California, including firing an infectious disease expert, or not promoting her and kind of pushing her to the side, for the head of their infectious disease department to put a black woman in control of it. And black woman could be very, very much a disease expert, but this one wasn't. So they took out an actual disease expert, put in this woman who then they hid as COVID kicked in. Because they didn't have the expert anymore and did not rely on that person. So that's that part. Then you move on to the COVID dictator. You remember that, Gavin Newsom. Then we went to the Versailles Queen, Gavin Newsom, of course, out at French Laundry. That was a fun version. Then we had the I'm really super competent Gavin Newsom. I'm going to debate with Ron DeSantis. I swear I can swim in those waters. He got his ass kicked there, so that one went away. Then he had, people were like, hey, wait a minute, Gavin, you sound like you're running for president. Joe Biden's still in office. Aren't you going to, what are you doing here? Then he turned into party line man Gavin Newsom, who was absolutely behind Joe Biden, one of the lead spokespeople. Even when everyone else ran away after the debate, the people out there saying, actually, Joe Biden is fine, that was Gavin Newsom. So that was party line man Gavin Newsom. Then we went into the anti-DEI centrist Gavin Newsom, who was saying, oh, God, I can't believe they're letting men and women's sports. This is terrible. He went to that Gavin Newsom, and that one expired. Then he went to free speech podcaster in the manosphere Gavin Newsom. If you don't remember that one, there's sort of a combo between his centrist type podcaster, and he wanted to kind of like that manosphere vibe, trying to be like a Joe Rogan-y type of person. That was only a few months ago. Here's a clip from that era if you missed it.
Literally last night, trying to put my son to bed. He's like, no, Dad, what time? What time's Charlie going to be here? What time? And I'm like, dude, you're in school tomorrow. He's 13. He's like, no. This morning, wakes up at 6 something. He's like, I'm coming. I'm like, he literally would not leave the house.
Did you let him take off school?
No, he did. Of course not. He's not here for a good reason. But the point is
you canceled school for 2 years. One day.
The point is the point, which is you are making a damn dent.
Thank you. I'm kidding.
But I know, but I appreciate that. I mean, it's the reason you're here, because I think people need to understand your success, your influence, what you've been up to, and the fact that you're on these college campus tours.
Dude, he's just having conversations. Dude. That's him. That's who he is then. And then, of course, that now, again, that's a centrist trying to come to the middle and get people like Charlie Kirk's audience to think Gavin Newsom's not such a bad guy. So that one didn't work either. So we're now through 9 different Gavin Newsoms. He's now on to the 10th Gavin Newsom, which is social media troll Gavin Newsom. That's his new shtick, and he's out there tweeting all the time about this, trying to get attention for himself. And there's been kind of 3, let me walk you through 3 takes on how this is working out so far. For Huffington Post, Gavin Newsom is talking like Trump, and it's infuriating the right. Yeah, we're infuriated over here. That's us on Gavin Newsom. Just like we're infuriated about how much attention AOC gets and Jasmine Crockett. We're so angry about it. Don't keep putting them as the face of your party. That's for sure. please don't do it. We're too angry about it. And you're really missing us. You're making us angry when you do that type of thing. So please stop. We beg of you. So that's how they think we're reacting. I don't know anyone who's infuriated over this. Everyone just thinks it's pathetic. That's what I see. Then you have the Politico kind of trying to cover this as a news story, which I think is somewhat accurate coverage, how Gavin Newsom trolled his way to the top of social media. For a decade, Donald Trump has blazed trails online, and now Newsom has found that by replicating Trump's posts to the point of outright parody and trolling, he's effectively gamed social media algorithms and colonized X typically right-coded For You tab. Does anyone go to I don't know. Maybe people use the For You tab. I don't know that I've ever clicked on it. Okay, I follow the people I want to follow. I don't need them to junk up my algorithm with nonsense. Anyway, asked for comment, the White House sent Politico an original meme referencing a famous scene from the show Mad Men. It is, to our knowledge, the first official White House press statement delivered exclusively in meme form. Here it is, by the way. It's the one guy saying, "I feel bad for you," and Donald Trump looking back at Gavin Newsom saying, "I don't think about you at all." That's kind of how I would say like the right is reacting to this. Like the left is thinking this is like some big triumph, and the right is like, like, you really think this is working? This is the third reaction to this is the most typical one that I've seen. Gavin Newsom's desperate bid to claim the new Trump mantle is falling flat, and it is falling flat. By the way, a lot of this is just to get attention to his new tough guy, redistricting plan. In there shows a 36% support that in California. 36% of his own voters support that. And I think like more than anything else, it's more perplexing than I get that he's trying to parody Trump. He's not obviously witty or good at it, but like you think you'd at least understand the jokes. Like this one, this is a AI thing of Hulk Hogan, Kid Rock, and Tucker Carlson praying, I guess, for Gavin Newsom. And like, I obviously get the idea that sometimes Trump supporters post that type of stuff about Trump. Not 100% sure why those people are chosen or what it has to do with anything. Like it's like someone who it's like if you created a person who is trying to figure out how to do social media, watched a bunch of it's very AI. Like if you convinced AI, hey, I want to parody Donald Trump and I want to be a social media troll, what should I type next? And that's the sort of crap they like put out there, and you're just like, that's terrible. I can tell it's fake and not real or funny in any way. It's kind of what they've been trying to do. They also tried to do this. Gavin Newsom, his state gave a CDL license to someone who murdered 3 people. So Gavin thought that would be a really funny time to come out with this tweet. Hey, genius, the federal government, Trump administration, already confirmed that this guy meets federal and state immigration requirements. You issued him a work permit. As usual, the Trump administration is either lying or clueless. P.S. Grok, who was president in 2018 when this guy came across the border? Of course, that doesn't address at all why he would get a commercial driver's license from your state, Gavin. But again, he's out there tweeting while half of his state burned down a few months ago. They haven't done any reconstruction, and this is what he's spending his time on. I'm sure the people of California really appreciate that. By the way, the response from the White House was this: false. This driver is in the United States illegally. His work authorization was rejected under the Trump administration on September 14th, 2020. It was later approved under the Biden administration, June 9th, 2021. The state of California issues commercial driver's license. There is no national CDL. Sincerely, genius. So, again, if you're going to be a social media troll, you'd think for a moment you'd at least check to see if it was you that screwed this up instead of the person you're blaming. And of course, they didn't even bother to do that. So the question more of anything else with this is this working? We obviously know this is a tactic, as all the other previous 9 Gavin Newsoms were also pretty much tactics. I don't know about the one sleeping with his wife, if that was a tactic or he just can't control himself and is just one of the worst people that humanity has produced in the past 50, 60 years. And you think about that's quite a statement. There's people who are mass murderers out there, and that's true. And you put those maybe on a slightly different category. But like when you talk about, the code of man to man, of humanity, sleeping with your best friend's wife is probably is there a worse thing to do outside of major crimes? I don't know. I mean, maybe there is something, but remember, that's what Gavin Newsom did. New poll, by the way, Democrats love him, though, so far. It is working with Democrats, and it's important to understand what's the goal here, right? The goal is not actually to win an election. There's going to be like 9 more Gavin Newsoms at least before we get to 2028 when he's running for president. There will be probably between 5 and 10 Gavin Newsoms that will appear during the campaign in 2028. So we're nowhere near close to understanding what Gavin Newsom will be running by the time we get there. Like, that's not even a consideration yet. It's like trying to predict, the iPhone in 1984. We have no idea, like, the changes of what Gavin Newsom will go through in that period. But the point is right now, just to raise his profile so he shows up near the top of presidential polls so that he can start collecting money from idiots. So the new poll conducted by Echelon Insights has Newsom in second place among potential Democratic candidates with 13% support, behind Kamala Harris with 26% support. Another poll from Citrin, the Politico Citrin Center, they came up with Harris actually behind Governor Newsom, 25 to 19 among Democratic. That's a state poll in California. So he's barely, he's right there with Kamala when it comes to statewide. That's not exactly impressive, but again, it's not about getting into even first place right now. It's about just getting people to talk about you, and people are talking about Gavin Newsom. By the way, he also had this poll come out on his redistricting poll. I love this headline: Newsom pollster sees big support for California redistricting. Now, we just told you about the actual scientific poll that showed they had 36% support for his redistricting plan. Well, this one shows he's got 57%. A prominent Democratic pollster who has long worked for Newsom found that 57% of California voters backed his plan. Well, there you go. By the way, the only meme you need, the only Photoshop you need of Gavin Newsom is, of course, him from American Psycho, which we debuted on this program. Actually, maybe on the last, that might have been A Wonderful World of Stupid. I don't even remember. It's been a long time that we've had the Gavin Newsom Photoshop of him as a mass murderer, which again would put him roughly as equivalent to who he actually is, who is a person who sleeps with his best friend's wife. Now, I do find it fascinating that, like, it's a problem we've been talking about that the Democrats really do have right now, which is it's almost impossible to cure a Gavin Newsom person, because he is, he's one of these guys who is trying to get all this attention, and he's landed on a persona that's working for him after, all the other attempts beforehand. The reason it's working for him is because the dumbest, loudest voices are always going to win in a situation like this. It is a really tough problem to solve. It's why AOC is near the top. It's why Jasmine Crockett's on television all the time. It's why Gavin Newsom gets this attention. If you can be a really loud moron, a lot of times that will win in the short term. Now, it doesn't necessarily give you a long career. It doesn't give you, you're not going to get this sort of historical significance he's looking for. But, again, the only thing that Gavin Newsom cares about is his own profile, his own, bank account, his own pond of attention that he's always trying to dip his toes into. That's all that matters to him. So for right now, it's working. Now, does this work to the national audience? No, he can't win an election doing this, but he'll change a bunch of times since then and try to sort of remix everything, and we'll see how that works. I would say good luck, but I want him to fail miserably because he's a horrible human being who actually slept with his best friend's wife.